latest on this, on the tensions in the Red Sea following the recent large-scale attack by Iran-backed Houthi rebels. Let's bring in retired U.S. Army Colonel Jack Jacobs. He's a Medal of Honor recipient and an NBC News military analyst. There's so many different facets to this, Colonel. I guess, what do you think the U.S. and its allies should do and are going to be able to do?
Well, what they should do and what they're able to do is something that we haven't done, and that is to attack the Houthi rebels where they are in Yemen. We've been reluctant to do it, not necessarily because we're concerned about bringing Iran into some sort of conflict, but our stated objective is to avoid starting up the civil war that's in Yemen and now has been in a quiescence for some time. But our evaluation of that, how important it is to keep things relatively quiet in Yemen, is probably going to be overridden by the deleterious effect of continual Houthi attacks on international assets in the Red Sea, Straits of Hormuz, and so on. That can't continue. We should have attacked some time ago. We're now talking about how we are liable to attack, and if it continues, we probably will attack.
Do you think it would take a lot to raise Iran's ire further than it is? Do we have some leeway there? They probably don't want to be directly involved. They like their proxies stirring up trouble, but they've got no interest in confronting the United States and its allies directly right now?
No, agreed. And that's exactly why they're using proxies like Houthis, Hezbollah, and so on to do their bidding. They don't have very much interest in engaging the United States. They think we won't attack them on their own ground, and they're probably right about that. And as a result, they continue to arm, to train, and to finance proxies like the Houthis, with the understanding that the United States is not going to attack Iran directly. All the while, they're continuing to develop nuclear weapons as long as they can keep the West and international interests away from attacking them directly. They will continue to encourage Houthis and others to attack international interests in that area. So I heard somebody saying recently, well, it's all because of Israel's attack on Gaza. Neither the Houthis nor the Iranians need any excuse to attack Western interests and international interests in the Gulf or in the Red Sea. And the Houthis have been doing it for quite some time, long before Israel attacked Gaza.
They're very honest. They say as long as as this continues, we're going to continue. So I don't know what that means that the United States should do. We try to back Israel, but I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. What kind of murmurings are you hearing? At the speech the other night, President Biden said, I don't know, intimated something that behind the scenes he's trying to tell Israel to calm down or something. I don't know. Could you figure out what exactly is happening now? They're walking a tightrope.
Well, there are a couple of things going on here. I mean, Netanyahu's got a real problem here. He's got to satisfy his domestic interest in getting the hostages back, but they're not likely to get all of them back if they did get any of them back at all. He needs to fulfill his promise that he was going to destroy Hamas, but he can't do that with the international opprobrium on Israel, demanding that they slow things down. The slower the attack goes on Hamas, the longer it's going to take. The longer it's going to take, the more difficult it becomes, both internationally and domestically for Netanyahu. So it's really a catch-22. And on top of that, Israel has already started to withdraw some of their forces for a couple of reasons, not the least significant of which is that the war itself has had such a deleterious effect on the Israeli economy. It's down 2%. You've got 300,000 Israelis in uniform instead of being in front of computers and behind counters making money and generating results for the economy. They've got to put these people back to work. All these things make it extremely difficult for Netanyahu.